Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to do a deck profile on my updated Musketeer Neo-Nectar deck for the Stride format. Originally I had two Neo-Nectar decks. One was the Cecilia one with Elvira, which is basically the Limit Break one, and then the other one was the Legion one with Vera and Duel. So I decided to combine them because I didn't have separate sets of the triggers. So in order for all the Musketeer triggers to be in the deck and having all the main cards, like the Mirkkas and stuff, so I just combined them. So this is what I came up with, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, or the deck, and let me know what you think about it when you change. So to start off, I'm running my 3 Cecilia. You don't really need 4, because her Limit Break skill, where you'll call up to 2 Cecilias, you'll almost never really use that, and it's just, I don't know, if I wanted to run 4, then I guess I might as well not even run Elvira in here. But Elvira, in my opinion, I just wanted to include her because Musketeers have the LB4, so they have the Delimiter card now. And Elvira is actually pretty good at trying to close out a game. The only problem, her weakness mainly is she cannot hit high numbers like Vera can, so that's why, I don't know, let me know if you think this is still necessary in here, or if I should just run 4 Cecilia and just not even bother with Elvira. So, I don't know. For right now, I'm running 3 Cecilia and 2 Elvira. And then obviously, to make the deck competitive, we run the best Musketeer grade 3, 4 Vera. So, a total of 9 grade 3s. You can get away with it because it's Musketeer, so you easily can set up the board. Vera's just really good. She doesn't use Counterblast. She makes the whole field big and strong. And then, yeah. The only Musketeer boss I'm not running is Thule, mainly because I don't really need her, because Cecilia is basically... Thule, in my opinion, was always just Cecilia with a Legion. But, I mean, I have her as the sleeve, so she's kind of there. Anyway, so that's the grade 3s. For grade 2s, we're running 4 Saul. Anytime I run Legion, with very, very few exceptions, I'm always going to run 4 Legion mate. Saul's just really good when you're in Legion. Otherwise, he's just kind of dead. But that's okay. He's the only Legion. Him and the starter are the only 2 cards that are dependent on Legion being active. So he doesn't work with Stride. But anyway, whatever. That's just Saul. And then next, for Augusto, just because he can hit numbers. Really scary with Vera's skill. And then I am running 3 Kalvant. Most people don't run this. They only run Rebecca. But I'm just running him because the alternative would be to run the grade 2 Musketeer that when it hits, basically the Cursed Lancer clone, when it hits you can unflip 1. But I don't know. The deck to me doesn't really have too much of a problem with Counterblast. So I'm just running him for now. Main reason why I'm also running him is for in the grade 1s. I'm only running 3 Rebecca instead of the 4 Rebecca. Just because I am running that 9th grade 3. So I had to drop this to 3 just to make room. But like I said, if I don't run Elvira and I go for Cecilia, then I don't know. I'll just make this go back up to 4. And then 3 Antonio, the Perfect Guard, and 1 Kirstie. Some people say you can run 2 Quintet Wall. I just don't like to use her Counterblast for that when I'm going to end up using my Stride Counterblast, and Elvira uses Counterblast, and Rebecca and Kalvant use Counterblast. So I just think the 1 Quintet Wall is good enough. The deck is Legion focused, so Quintet Wall is valid. This lineup is pretty optimal. Next, 3 Snowdrop Musketeer Pilkko. This is really good for Elvira. Elvira is probably the one that benefits the most from this, so we're just running 3. And Cecilia also can benefit from it. But honestly, it's not too important in here, and I don't know, I probably would run, if I wasn't running this, I'd probably run 4 Rebecca and 4 of this card. So I'm running 3 Mirkka. Nice thing about Musketeers is it's easy enough to set up the board, so you can get away with running the 3-3-3 instead of the 4-4, and then 2 of the unflip, the Soul Blast 2 unflip 2 Musketeer. So anyway, that's the lineup. for the grade 1s. Grade 0s, finally Musketeers can run all Musketeer triggers. So for Daniel, the original Musketeer critical. For Alon, the new Musketeer critical. And he has a pretty good skill. So if you have to call him on the field with the Musketeer skill, you can unflip 2. And then you can like use Elvira or somebody to get rid of him and then call something else. So pretty good, and you can Legion later on. So anyway, so 8 critical, and then I am running 4 stand. Some people like to just run like 8 critical and 4 draw. I'm not exactly sure why. The deck sets up the board really fast, and we're running Quintet Wall, and you know, it's stride, so 12 10k shields with Quintet Wall. I mean, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. But Ernst also just, his effect is really good. He just gives you, he's like having another Kalvant and Rebecca type of card. It's a grade 0. So all Musketeers here, and then we've got the 4 Musketeer heals, Anna. And the starter I went with, I'm still using Ralsa, the Legion-based Musketeer starter. I don't know, I may actually change this to the one, basically the grade 3 searcher for Neo Nectar, which just so happens to be Musketeer. Since I am running the 9 grade 3s, that makes that card more effective or more consistent. I don't know, I just kind of like this one because it helps set up the board even more. It just makes setting up the board more consistent. But I don't know, may actually run the grade 3 searcher just because I am running the 9 grade 3s and only half of the deck is Legion focused. So yeah, kind of defeats the purpose of this card. Anyway, for stride, we've got 2 White Lily Musketeer Captain Cecilia. So this is really the main card which made me put Cecilia back in the deck rather than just making it be Legion focused with possibly with Elvira teched in. So Captain Cecilia, basically the deck works if you ever have to ride Cecilia, you know you'll be striding this thing and using her as the stride, and then later on you can do whatever. You can go into Elvira or go Legion. So 2 of this, you really only need 2 because the stride deck is kind of tight on space. And then 2 Arborea, she's just a pretty decent stride unit for Neo Nectar overall. She's the trial deck one, easy enough to get a hold of. So 2 of her. Then I am running 1 Primavera. For some reason, Primavera, I mean, her cost is extremely expensive, but it's just really good in, it's just really good for Musketeers. It just works really good if you ever get to pull it off. And then I am running the 1 Multivitamin Dragon. So basically these 2 are from the Fighters collection. Just 1 because it's okay, but really the ideal situation is get Cecilia. The problem with Multivitamin Dragon is it requires you to have, it's like the typical Neo Nectar style of getting power by having multiple of the same name. And Musketeers don't do that a whole lot compared to regular Neo Nectar. So like the main example of that would be like having 2 Mirkkas in the back row or something like that. So just 1, just teched in. And then the 1 Blizza and the 1 Atmos just for that final game push. Either one works. Typically Blizza, you would use this when if you strode like 2 Cecilias or 2 different, like two or 3 strides, then you go into Blizza. Otherwise, it's probably not worth going to Blizza. You probably just go into Atmos. So anyway, the deck is really fun. Actually, Musketeers has always been a really fun deck. It's kind of like Royals and the Paladins in general. It just doesn't have retire pressure, which is probably the only thing lacking. But otherwise, the deck is still really fun, still pretty viable, and really fast. It's just a fun deck overall. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, stay tuned for more Cardfight Vanguard videos, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe. Thanks.